What is event questing for you? A very real question and requires a very real answer to it. At the moment in game, we have this issue where a lot of rewards are not to a standard player's like. And people may think that's quite entitled. It's not. When you consider the game has kind of progressed in such a way that rewards, depending on what you do, what you have to do, and there's a difference between people saying, we don't have to do stuff. Well, how do you keep up with the latest things? No, that's a remark that I think somebody said a long time ago, like 10 years ago. But you want to keep up with the latest things. You want to get the most latest rewards in game. And before anybody says, no, I'm not saying that Tier 7 Basics, Tier 4 Alpha, well, Tier 4 Alpha is kind of like a different thing. Titan Crystal Shards, again, same thing. Like, people want to chase what they want to chase. And, you know, I want to chase rank 4 7-star materials, not rank 4 6-star materials. There's a bit of a difference to what I'm looking to get. And the game goes on. Kabam put out Tier 7 Basics in the early part of this year. Well, later part of last year, where you had to do Karina's challenges. But the problem is, Kabam put them in. Now, if Kabam decided to roll out Tier 7 Basics and rank 4 7-star materials, very drip feed them and slowly over the course of a year, we would have been in a different situation because players wouldn't look to chase those things. Instead, Kabam, we are chasing those things. And the time investment, time grinding game is still a very much big problem. This isn't just me that's feeling this way. It's also other players. Yeah, you could say, and the big question is, are you exploring the event quest? If you're looking to get the Paragon Gauntlet done, then yes, with XP the way it is, refined XP, it does mean you might want to chase it. Now, I was probably interested in the first month to go and get this, but then when I was like, nah, I'm good. Because of the grind. To do Paragon difficulty, in order to do this, you have to do all the way through Thronebreaker difficulty. And it's not rocket science, it's not super painful, it's just super boring and time. Yeah, time. I think as well, if there was nothing else on to do in game, I'm sure people would go and do this. But Kabam have made a bit of a push for players to do Battlegrounds now once every season, catch up with rank 4 7-star materials, which are very much located into things like the Ordeal, or they're locked into things like Epoch of Pain, which I am this weekend going to do my 5th run before doing my 6th run, fingers crossed the week after, depending on resources and how painful it is, although I have left two of my favourite paths that I'm looking to do. One that I get to use Silk. Yes, 7-star rank 3 Silk. Lovely. And I'm looking forward to doing that. And once I do that, I'll be able to have one fully rank 4 7-star, and then only need to get a Tier 7 Basic. And of course, need to go back into Necropolis. That's very grindy. And if players are doing the very grindy things very early on, then they get burnt out, you know. So what do they need for that particular content? Well, if you're not the super skilled, you need units. And that's something that I've been doing. Is I've been farming units, buying revived bundle deals, and then kind of like looking at to go back in again. So I need units. So that's where we get back to the point of the video, and that is, well, what are people doing? And this is interesting, isn't it? Stantonia says, I'm a Valiant player, like myself, and I only run Proven on autoplay just for the additional units. Speaks volumes that I get more out of a Proven difficulty than Thronebreaker. And for context, if you use that 150 units, or if you get more, I can't remember if it's more or less, it might be a bit more than that. If you're farming that for July 4th deals, or you're farming that for Cyber Weekend, or if you're farming it for units to be used back into endgame content, like, well, how many is that? Is that 3 revives that you could get from that? The value of those 3 revives, level 2, versus anything else in game to go and grind, probably would be speaking volumes about what that particular player was up to. And yeah, it's just interesting as well. The last time we explored Event Quest was in 2022. And the game is too broken to do the lower levels. Hey? No, it's not. You just auto-fight it. That was a bit of a weird take. I thought it was going somewhere. Chobley says, I'm the same. I auto fight and complete the bottom 3 difficulties normally, and I might explore 1 if I've got energy refill spare. The units are the only reason to do them. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother. Fair. I think that's fair. Yeah, whatever you need for whatever you need. The rewards are all awful. Of course not. There you go. Haven't missed one in years. Explore the top level. Run through the rest. I like the story. And what else can I do with QE? Okay. Yes, why not? I think this is why I think people, if you've got the time for it, fair play. But for me, I just don't see any value. I do it for the units. I want to get some experience fighting the new champs released that month. Cool. Only difficulties that give units, rest are a total waste. Yeah, I guess it's each to their own, isn't it? Auto fight to complete from contender to uncollected. I get all the units and Thronebreaker only for unlock the gauntlet. I think, again, unlocking the gauntlet may be like the only thing that people are kind of going with. This was an interesting thread, and this is why I thought it was important to kind of bring to light, because there's a bigger picture going on. Kabam, I don't know if Kabam's answer to the event quest not being up to par with rewards. Yes, go and do Paragon Gauntlet, which a lot of players have said, look, can you just make sure that Paragon Gauntlet's unlocked for Paragon and upwards? It's a simple request. It's just not been, answered with Kabam. With the new Valiant difficulty coming out in May, if you didn't know, they're going to be doing that. My concern with that is how grindy it's going to be. I'm not saying that they should give out anything for free, but they need to kind of really assess what is worth it. And as I said in recently, what if Kabam took the incursions difficulty rewards that were in it for the sectors and just put it into event quest? The reason I say that is that you could take that from a cycle, which is like a 90-day cycle? I don't know if it is. It could be a little bit less. But take the rewards and kind of separate it out, and put it into something like event quest. And the saga incursions leave as it is, because that always rotates around the way it should fall. So yes, that's a simple solution to a situation with that. Yeah, it could ruin the incursion artifact crystal, but who cares? Take that from the store and put it into that to beef up the rewards from the event quest difficulty. But the Kabam needs to look at participation numbers of incursions and go, do people actually play it as much to keep the mode going? Couldn't we just sandwich it into somewhere else? I love incursions. I just don't have the time for it. But I have to, or I feel like more obliged I'd have to do event quest over incursions. The same way that I think a lot of people would go I've got time for arena, but not for battlegrounds, and I need to do arena. So it's always a balancing act, isn't it, of what you get to do in game. But it was certainly interesting to see where, and Kabam have said that they are going to let players know where they're going with the rewards, buffs, and improvements, because it's now come to the point where Kabam need to dangle the carrot, and Kabam aren't dangling the carrot for us to go chase it. It's just should I do event quest? I don't really need to. And if you have to say, I don't really need to, then there's no point to doing it. Because you could get the rewards elsewhere in different places and avenues and alleyways for the game, and save your time, and just save your time. Anyway, what are your thoughts when it comes to the event quest? Do you play it? What do you play it for? Are you auto-fighting it? Are you interested? Not interested? And are you hoping for Kabam to give us answers soon, which they did say they would do, on the improvements to the game? And this is another interesting. I'll do a completion run to get the potion deal, though. Fair. That's the other side of things. Players are looking for it as only a means to an end. But that means to an end is getting units, getting the revive and potion deal, maybe facing off and finding how the new champions tick, and that's it. Which is pretty sad. But I'm sure people are doing it, like a Thronebreaker and the Paragon Gauntlet. It's just, why? Why do you need to? Some good reasons as to why people are, but ultimately, yeah, for me, it's just units. That's the only thing it's really there for. And also just using champions for, things that Kabam got, objectives and other stuff like that. Solo events. Yeah. What do you do? Do you do the event quest? Do you not? Why don't you? Thoughts in the comments. I'll leave a link to this thread in the description if you want to take a look and also have your say. Anyway, see you soon. Bye.